Hey guys. So I wanted to do a video tonight just talking about, I don't know, I guess just some of the problems I've been running into with some of the people I was keeping company with in the last few months and some of the patterns I've noticed and things and a little bit of my confusion about what it means or I guess where it's coming from. Um, I was just thinking, I was talking to ChatGPT because I use ChatGPT like my personal fucking, not therapist, because it's not like an emotional baggage type of thing, but like my sounding board. So I ask it a shit ton of questions. I use it almost every day. But I was talking to it about pattern recognition in relationships that I've been having with girls in particular and noticing things like all of my relationships with most of my all of my relationships, because I don't keep relationships with men that are sexually aggressive or crossing boundaries and things like that. I've gotten much better at putting boundaries in place in the last few years, but my personal relationships with people, um that I maintain with people at the group house or like friendships or people that call me and stuff like that. Um, how I tend to have more friendships with men than I do with women, and it's been that way my whole life. And I've not had too many girlfriends. Like I noticed that on Facebook, people like girls from high school that I used to hang with in school. Like we were part of the same social circle and we would occasionally talk with each other, but we were always hanging around in the same group, whether we talked or not, because I was very quiet and shy and insecure and self conscious in high school, so I didn't talk very much. I would just hang out in the literally physical proximity with these people in the same group all like every day, all the time. So friends, but not close friends. I just noticed that I would support everything they posted, even all these years later. We were still friends on Facebook, but they would never support, none of them would ever support anything that I ever posted. And I just noticed it, so I unfollowed all of them and just moved on with my life because it was like, you know me, I know you, like you've pierced me multiple times, or we talk on Facebook, so like, why is it, even though we're friends with each other, we're following each other, or whatever like that? Why is it I can follow every single story you post, every picture you post, every video you post, and you can see that I'm supporting you. But every time I do the same thing, you can't even be arsed to like a single picture or comment anything ever, no matter what it is. And so I'm like, we're obviously not viewing each other in the same light. So I'm going to stop pouring my energy into the relationship and just call it quits, basically. So that's the way it goes with girls in my life. The men in my life from high school are still very much supportive. Like I still have very close friends with the guys from high school. And we still talk. But the girls not so much. And they're beautiful girls, so I don't think it's necessarily a jealousy issue unless they have self esteem issues or something, or they don't think they're pretty, or they think I'm prettier, or there's some tension or some cattiness, or they just don't care. It could be as simple as that they just don't care. They just don't have the personality necessary to maintain a relationship with someone like me who does care deeply. And I do pay attention when you post because I know you're not posting for nothing. So they're just not as deep into it as I am, or they don't have the depth that I have. So they're not putting in the work or the energy or the effort to reciprocate the same energy that I'm willing to put in or was willing to put in. So, I have to question why all the guys from high school are, but the girls aren't. And so then I was talking to ChatGPT about the dynamics of things. And I'm not trying to be naive here because ChatGPT did say most men, even if they're even slightly attracted to you, they tend to be more pleasant with you. And whereas girls, there's no prerogative, there's no reason to do that. So if there's any type of dynamic there, it'll show a lot more obviously or a lot more quickly. So if you were kind of quiet in high school and you didn't really bond on a really deep level or something like that, they may not be as inclined to support you on something like Facebook or something like that, which is why I kind of called it quits. Because I'm like, after all these years, all the times I run into you at concerts, all the time I go to your house to get pierced. We may not be hanging out and shooting the breeze, but like I'm a much more familiar face at this point. You can't even like a post out of thousands of posts over the last 20 years. Like, you can't even do that, even though we're friends on Facebook. Like, at some point, it gets weird. Like, problematically weird. So, you can't help but to question what's going on with all the girls in general. So, I just question what it is. Like, what is it? So, I don't know. But I've just been looking at a pattern of things. Like, in general. Like, with my twin sister, you know, her trying to have sex with me in my adult life. I'm like, that's one girl in my life who had no healthy boundaries. She's never had healthy boundaries with me. Like, she's always been abusive, physically abusive, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, and highly unstable. Like, her mood, she's borderline bipolar with the way her mood switches up. And she's narcissistic as well. So that's one person. Then my older sister's exactly the same way, except minus the physical abuse, but everything else is exactly the same way. And then my mom, my aunt, like, that's just the way the family dynamics were. But then the friends from high school, that's a whole nother group of girls who didn't bother to give me the time of day. And now these friends from the group home would be the next group of girls that I've had in my life actively. Like, between high school and the group home, there were no girls involved in my life at all. It was just straight men. So I made friends with guys over all of these years, but no girls. And I'm like, I don't even know where the girls were. Like, I was being approached a lot romantically by men, and so I didn't like make friends with them because I wasn't interested. I was celibate from 21 until I was from 20 into 21 into 32 or 20 to 31 or something like that. I can't remember the years right now, but for like 11 years, 12 years, something like that. So I wasn't dating anybody, but I still maintained friendships with a lot of people, but they were all men. So then I meet all these girls at the group home, and it was mainly three of them, Ruby, Sarah, and Kiara. And you know the story with them. Like, Ruby, I was like little things. So this is what I was talking to ChatGPT about. It's like, what would the dynamic be, or what would the reasoning likely be, or the reasons be behind things like this? So like Ruby's like Barbie if she got really overweight but was still into the fashion and was super bubbly and laughed a whole lot, and so she had the bubbly personality of Barbie, but was equally ditzy the way you think of Barbie as being. Almost to the point where I'm not sure she might not have a little mental retardation. Like, she's that level of ditzy. So I'm not sure if she doesn't actually have some type of handicap or not. Like, she's overly ditzy. A little slow, but that's the personality. Like, hyper bubbly and hyper ditzy. So a lot of guys like her because she's loose. Like, she twerks for the old guys at the group home. She sleeps around a lot. She contracted HPV from having unprotected sex with all these guys. And she's like over 40. So she like was dating this 18-year-old dude that came to the group home. And like, when we were in the group home, we weren't allowed to have sex. And so they were just making out in the couch in the living room with the staff was like 10 feet away behind the counter. staring at him, and then they got up and went to their bedroom like they were just gonna have sex, like they didn't know the staff couldn't see them. And it was just, it's like that's the way she is. She doesn't care about like what's right or wrong. She doesn't care about what makes sense, and like she doesn't think logically like normally at all. So it's kind of like, even if you didn't want to follow the rules, or you're like, I'm 40, I shouldn't have to listen to House of Rules or anything like that, whatever bulking of against authority you have or anything like that, like, hey, let's just say that's a given, like that's fine, that's just how part of how you are. Like, no part of a normal person's brain would think, we're making out in front of the staff, we're gonna make it to the bedroom, and we're gonna definitely be able to have sex. Like, nobody would logically think that you would be able to have sex if the staff is already watching you make out and is about to stop you from making out, and is following you down the hallway while you're going to the bedroom. Why would you even try to go have sex if the staff is 10 feet away from you? Like, something about the disconnect in logic in her head. So I knew all of this about Ruby, and I'm trying to like help her out a little bit. I'm like, maybe don't twerk for the old guys. Like, maybe don't sleep around so much. Maybe don't get drunk every weekend. Maybe don't, I'm not like nagging her or anything like that, but I can regard her as my best friend, and she is under court order, or else she goes to prison. So I'm looking at it and approaching her from the angle of, I don't want you to get arrested and go to prison. So when she's asking me if I'll go buy her drinks and stuff, I'm like, I will, but don't forget that too much alcohol is going to make your schizophrenia medication not work, which is exactly what wound up happening. She had to go back to the hospital, and she got another year tacked on her record where she couldn't leave the apartment, and she was down to like 2 months before she would have been back into the community. And they gave her another 6 months, and then she got caught again and had an additional 6 months added. So all of that was just from drinking. So she did this one time where Ruby's white, so she has all of these bright pink and purple lipsticks and shit. The type of stuff that on a black girl looks ashy as hell. And she kept trying to convince me to put it on and go to the mall with her. And it was obvious that it looked terrible. Like, anybody could see that it looked terrible. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to wear that. Like, why would you even suggest that? And then another time I went to her house and we were getting ready to go to the mall again. And I didn't like the red lipstick that I had on. So I took it off and asked her if she had any black lipstick, or a black, not black lipstick, but a black eyeliner, liquid eyeliner that I could just put on my lips as black lipstick. And she was like, no, why don't you wear this pink one? And it was like this highlighter pink lipstick that looked like Nicki Minaj bullshit. And it looked so bad. And it was just, it looked terrible. Obviously terrible. And she was like, no, I think it looks good. You should wear that. And like, so I just noticed these little things with her. And then she would be glammed up to the gods. And then I'm over here with these ashy ass, bright ass pink lips. And so of course I took it off. I wasn't going to the mall like that. But, the fact that I noticed her doing stuff like I was supposed to not notice the obvious put downs, or trying to make me look bad, or trying to make me look stupid in public, or stuff like that. And this was after I lost all the weight. So it was like, I don't know what you would call it. And so I was talking to ChatGPT about like little things that I noticed with just the girls in my life, and how I'd never had any girlfriends. Like my best friend, which was my husband's grandma. So my grandma-in-law, before she passed away, is the only woman I've ever bonded with in my whole life. And I have one aunt in Texas that I bonded with. And so those two women are the only women I've ever had in my life that were real people, like genuine people with no shade, no underhandedness, no violence, no aggression, No jealousy, no cattiness, nothing. Like they were genuine, real, just normal people. But they were like hyper good. So like I really loved them. And I'm like, but they're not my age. So I'm like, I've never had any girls my age or close to my age actually be a proper friend. And I still don't have a real answer from ChatGPT about that. I was just talking about dynamics, like growing up in a really abusive households where all the people in the household were women, and how it can shape future relationships, which I already knew, as far as me being too tolerant or maybe not noticing the signs of the warning signs of a relationship going bad before it actually gets bad, which is true. I didn't notice that with a couple of the girl relationships until it was already bad, and then I cut it off. But like I didn't notice it going bad until it was too late. So I kind of learn my lessons as I go through the relationships, and I getting better at noticing it from the relationships I've been through to spot it going forward. But I can't guarantee that I wouldn't get into another relationship and not notice that person's pattern of behaviors if it's totally different from what I've been exposed to before. So, still kind of a learning curve a little bit. But I've seen the majority of the bad side of people's human nature. So it's not likely I'm going to just be taken by surprise by some random girl who's just a master manipulator. Like I've met those too. So I know how it pretty much all works at this point. But, and I'm not naive either. So I've noticed some things, but I've been a little permissive with some people. Like Ruby, I had known Ruby for 4 years, so I had been putting up with her crap for like a year. Like she had been doing things for 4 years, like not answering the phone as much as I would like her to, or I just for a long time just assumed she was busy or she was tired or, making excuses and things like that, but it wasn't obvious to me that she was blowing me off. When it became obvious to me that she was blowing me off, that's when I cut her off. So it wasn't like I stayed in an unhealthy relationship on purpose. I just didn't realize what was going on until it was already a bad relationship, like I just said. So I just wonder what is going on. I mean, because I've said this before, I say it again. I think I have a level of attractiveness, and I think to some people it's high, to some people it's just attractive, to some people it may not be attractive at all. But whatever it is, it's not enough to warrant that level of response, I feel like. And most of the girls that I've had in my life have been at least my level of attractiveness, I feel like, or they're at least attractive or pretty or cute or something. They're not unattractive people. So I'm not thinking it's necessarily a jealousy issue, but then you got to consider what attractive means also, because it's not just a physical thing. I mean, if you've got your life together, you've got ambition, you've got inventions, you've got money, you've got a lot of men coming after you, and they're men with their heads on their shoulders straight, whereas the men going after your girlfriends are like, well, she twerks for everybody, she sleeps around, so I'm just using her for sex. But you're over here with men proposing to you, and you've been married before, and you got this and that going on. It could create jealousy or insecurity in people. So I'm sure all of this is playing a part in it, but at the same time, that can't be the whole picture. So I guess it's kind of like one of those situations where it comes down on a person by person basis why things are the way they are. But the ultimate question I have is, why is it ultimately the way that it is? If there is a single answer for that, which makes me look at myself and wonder if there's something I'm doing to contribute to the situation that I'm not aware of, other than being too permissive, which I've been working on in the last 4 years, as far as not letting myself be used as a doormat or run over. And I think I'm doing very well with that. I don't have anyone in my life now that's toxic, not anyone that I can think of. Um, but it's been like a learning curve, and it's taken a while to get to the point where I don't have anyone abusive left in my life. I mean, it's just taking a while, and new people show up and they're not on the up and up, so I have to cut them out, and it's always going to be a weeding out process because everybody is attracted to certain type of people. Like, if you're strong-minded, you're strong-willed, you're smart, you have ambition, you're attractive, you're good-spirited, you're a lover of nature, you're a lover of God, like you're a lover of people, and you just good. Like, it attracts good and bad people. And so you're gonna have bad people try to weed their way into your life. Like, that's everybody in life. So what you do with it really determines the outcome for you and the social circle you keep. But it still doesn't really explain to me how I've only managed to have two female friends, women friends, in 34 years of my life. Like, it seems to be a really big disconnect, and I don't know what it is. Um, it's weird. Like, I know they say that intelligent people wind up with less friends because, like, you don't identify easily or frequently with the average person. But I don't know if that's what it is, because it's not like me being disinterested in other people. It's other people being disinterested in me, particularly women being disinterested in me, or the wrong type of woman being interested in being friends with me, or being interested in me sexually, and I'm not gay or bi, so that's not something I would be interested in. But I don't know. I just wanted to get up here and muse a little bit. I don't know, and maybe some of you have the same experience. Maybe some men don't have relationships with other men, and maybe all you get are girls. I mean, I feel lucky that I have friends, even if it is just guys. I just would like to have some girlfriends because there's always a dynamic with other guys. I mean, with guys, and I'm not saying not all of them. Like, I have some guy friends that we're truly platonic, but the majority of them have either been interested in me or are interested in me, and it comes up pretty frequently in our relationship, which is why I keep them at an arm's distance, and I don't hang out with them alone. I don't hang out with them at their house. Like, we might talk on the phone every now and again, but that's about as far as our relationship can develop. Um, and then some guys I only see at the group home, and we'll chill the whole day and just talk and smoke. And then some of them I do hang out with or would hang out with. But no girls. And so I don't, I really, like, I try to be realistic when I think about the situation, because every girl can't be jealous. I don't think I'm attractive enough to warrant that type of response. So every girl can't be jealous. Every girl can't be competing with me, even though they might be. You know, that's quite a common thing for girls to do, is to compete with each other. But every girl is doing something, because I've not only had but two girlfriends in my whole life. So something about me and girls are not meshing very well with each other, and I'm not sure what it is. Um, I literally have no idea. So if you have any idea, maybe leave me a comment. Um, what you think it is, or if you're in a similar position, maybe share with me what your experience has been like, or what you think it is in your situation, or what you found it to be in your situation. Anything would be helpful at this point, because I'm not understanding what it is. I mean, I not understanding how you can have no girlfriends in 34 years but two older women. And nobody your own age. And I mean, since I was a little girl, I didn't have any little girlfriends. I didn't have any teenage girlfriends. I haven't had any 20-year-old girlfriends. And now I'm 30. I've not had any 30-year-old girlfriends. Like, me and Ruby, it's the longest girl-to-girl relationship I've had that lasted for 4 years. And it was not a healthy one. And I didn't know it wasn't healthy until like 3 months ago. So, there's that. But it's kind of blowing my mind because I'm like, it's kind of isolating to not have anybody of your own sex in your life that you can just shoot the breeze with or hang out with or watch movies with or do your nails with. Like, I have no girlfriends to go get my nails done with, no girlfriends to take to the spa and get a massage. Like, I have no girlfriends to go to the beach with. I have no girlfriends, and I don't know why. Like, I put myself out there, but it's the wrong type of person on the other end of it, so it doesn't work out well. And all the girls that come after me, they either have the wrong personality or bad attitudes, or they're jealous, or they're competing, or they're gay, or they're this, or they're that. And I'm not finding any smart, wise, mature young women my age that are on the up and up that just want to be friends. Like, I'm not finding them. And I really don't know why. So, leave me a comment if you have any theories about what's going on, because I don't have any. I'm fresh out of ideas. So, I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.